Look, it's my first ripe, well, it's either a Quandong or a Sandalwood, I'm not sure. The first really ripe fruit. It's taken years since I've planted these. I made a YouTube vid about 6 or 7 years ago now, when I was planting them out. Now they've finally come to fruition. Took a while. If it's sandalwood, it contains an edible nut. If it's a Quandong, it has edible flesh and an edible nut. I'm not sure. I think it might be a sandalwood. I'll have to inspect the nut, but maybe the birds will take it first before I get to it. I think there might be sandalwoods on this tree. This is all proof anyway that you can grow sandalwoods and quandongs in a cold climate like mine. We have heavy clay soil here in the Lachlan Valley. Very heavy clay soil, which is muddy in winter and hard as a rock in summer. Look at it. It's not ripe yet. Sandalwood nuts are a delicacy. They do look rather like decorative Christmas baubles, don't they? Like they used to make out of glass when I was a child. They wouldn't make them out of glass nowadays. But they used to make baubles out of glass. They'd fall off the Christmas tree and they'd break and you'd get cuts in your fingers and everything when you picked them up. In that movie Walkabout with David Gulpilil and Jenny Agutter, they were eating quandongs out in the desert somewhere. That looks quite luscious. Very drought resistant once established. Can stand cold winters. Quite cold when the bird bath freezes. And they're growing in heavy boggy soil where I am and surviving okay. I planted quandong seeds and sandalwood seeds all over the place, so I don't know which is which. I walked around the grounds and I was planting them all over the place, the seeds, hoping they'd come up here and there, and they did, but I don't know which is which. I think this one might be a quandong, but it hasn't got any fruits on it yet. It's getting very big. It's taller than I am. It's got a few blossoms. There, see the blossoms? It's got a few blossoms. I think it might be a quandong, this one. I wish I were a botanist. This one looks like a sandalwood, but I can't be sure. Until they're ripe and I've inspected the nuts, I can't be sure. I'm no bush tucker expert. I might act like one, but I'm not. I use Santalum acuminatum or Santalum spicatum. Santalum spicatum is the West Australian sandalwood, and Santalum acuminatum is the Australian quandong. I think there are a couple of other species as well that are in Australia. Santalum spicatum has edible nuts and it has very fragrant wood that is made into sandalwood incense, or has been, and is very important to our First Nations people. See, I planted the nuts everywhere. We've got quandongs coming up everywhere. There's a whole grove of them. I scattered the nuts all over the place. How many are there? There's about three there. And I've got a raspberry jam wattle. No, that's for a host plant. They need a host. This is What is this? Acacia stenophila, I think, is it? I think it might be stenophila. Or is it Acacia pendula? There's two growing nearby. There's a pendula nearby and a stenophila nearby. This looks like a young sandalwood. And it's coming up under an Acacia stenophila. Here's the stenophila. So it's got a host plant. Sandalwoods and Quandongs need a host plant. A wattle tree usually. Acacia. This Quandong or sandalwood has got some eggs on it. What would they be? Some sort of butterfly eggs or something? I can't see exactly. Some type of insect's eggs. I haven't used my camera for a while, so I'm out of focus, aren't I? Besides this sandalwood or Quandong, I've got a nice strawberry jam wattle coming up. Not strawberry jam, raspberry jam wattle. It's been eaten by a kangaroo. Isn't that dreadful? Those dreadful kangaroos. But it's a host for the Santalum species. This is a raspberry jam wattle, planted as a host plant for this nearby Quandong or sandalwood. By the time they both get big, they'll be able to help each other in their symbiotic relationship, or whatever you call it. There's a Quandong in here somewhere, under this olive tree. Let's have a look. There it is. All crowded out, aren't you? There is a Quandong tree, or a sandalwood, growing under an olive tree. Those weeds will die down in a couple of weeks once the weather becomes dry. Well, that's a good little specimen, healthy. I've got some Quandong seeds here. And we're going to simulate a bushfire. Come on, put the ash on. Simulate a bushfire here. Oops, it's hot. Better watch out for my eyes. Oh. We're burning off today, so I thought I'd make the most of the smoke and do a bit of Quandong germination. That should help germinate those. You've got to crack the shells. The shells have got to be cracked. These shells need cracking. They need cracking by heat and smoke, and then they like to be soaked for about 24 hours before they're being planted. So I thought I'd give them the heat treatment with a bit of smoke. How's it working? And there's the fire over there, a wonderful fire. Let's look at the fire before my camera memory runs out. Germinating Quandong seeds in our bonfire. Giving them a heat treatment to help crack the shells. It is hot, I can feel the heat coming off that, so there's plenty of heat in that frying pan. Bushfire takes about 10 minutes to pass over usually, I think, doesn't it? I'll heat them for a while anyway. I'd better keep an eye on that fire before it gets out of hand, hadn't I? Where's my watering can? Let's give them a blast. Oh, there they are. Quandong nuts being given the heat treatment. On this early spring afternoon, when all the Cape weed daisies are out. Look, all the gorgeous Cape weed daisies are out. My camera's just out of memory.